Hello, we should be live. If there's any problems hearing us in the chat, please let me know. I have it muted right now. Well, let me make sure that this is all okay. Can a player talk, please?
Hello.
Hey there.
Hello.
Okay, I think that we are okay. All right, I apologize. This is my first time producing, and it's a little bit stressful, but I think we'll be okay. So, welcome to the channel Nerds with Dice. There's usually a spiel that goes here, and I don't know if I got it. Okay, so this is Nerds with Dice. We're a channel that does role playing. I am very sorry for being such a disaster right now. And oh no. I'm I'm asking for help right now because my mind just went completely blank. But we are going to be playing today Wanderhome by Jay Dragon and Possum Creek Games. This is a fairly recent role-playing game. The Kickstarter was pretty recent. The book just came out. And it's all about being an adorable woodland animal in a super chill environment where you just have adventures and nobody gets hurt. So all the players here were like, yeah, that sounds good. And so watch us play and see if you like it as well. Okay, I am going to introduce people. So first of all, on my checking Twitch, right? Right. We have Moss.
Hello.
So yeah, just introduce yourself, anything about you, your character, just go ahead.
Well, I'm Moss. I use they fair pronouns. I'm excited to play. I'm gonna play Bedelia. Um, she's a maned wolf moth tender.
Yes, excellent. And next, under Bedelia on here, we have Robin.
Yes, hello. I have my first character that I ever played. His name is Pilot Plum. He's my profile picture, and he's a little Tanuki guy. He's a moth tender. And should I describe anything more about him? Just like his general.
Just like in general, we're gonna be
We'll
one
go
of the
into
things
it.
that you're gonna see on the stream is there's some aspects of character creation that we need to do in a group. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, well, that's the general thing. He's a moth tender, and he wishes to fly. That is his main goal.
Nice. And we have Sarah.
Hello. I am playing Trevor. He is a green anal lizard. He is a fool. So I plan to have a lot of fun with him. Random interesting fact about me: I am completely blind as well. So I'm looking forward to having fun with this. You guys will hopefully everyone will enjoy my Trevor voice. So I'm looking forward to this. So
Excellent. And I am Lauren. I'm the storyteller here, and she, her pronouns. And as you can tell, I'm a little bit panicky because this is my first time running one of these on this channel and producing on this channel. So good luck, us.
we've got your back.
I'm sure you'll do.
And depending on how collaborative we decide this game is going to be, I do have a character, Yoli, a caretaker armadillo. But we'll see if Yoli makes any appearances or not. Okay. So I'm going to explain a bit about the system for people new to the system. So this game is meant to be collaborative. It's meant to be just a super chill time. In fact, snacks is one of the things suggested as an essential item. Unfortunately, because I don't think people are going to want to see or hear us crunching on screen, I have no snacks. And so yeah, the whole purpose is you are an adorable woodland creature trying to find a home. Why are we trying to find a home? That's up to you. My interpretation of the world is that when people come of age or just feel like it, they leave where they're at and go find where they are in the world. The world is called, okay, where we are right now is called the Heath. It's this, think the Shire. It's basically the Shire. have the most Ghibli-esque picture of the Shire from Lord of the Rings in your mind, and that's the Heath. The livestock and pets and wild creatures are all insectoids, so if that bothers you, this may not be the game for you, but they are all basically, imagine the cutest, roundest, most adorable version of an insect, like a cartoon insect. And that's kind of how I picture the aesthetics of the game. The Heath boasts a widespread culture of hospitality. So as we travel, people are always going to be wanting to welcome you. And there is also trust within hospitality. If you hurt or lash out at your hosts, they'll kick you out. So it's a lot of treat people how you want to be treated. The people here are just fundamentally good. But, however, in recent memory, there was a war. And now that that's over with, everybody has kind of doubled down on the being very nice and very open. I have my theories on what this war was. We can work that out in the game if that's something that we want to.
Mhm.
In terms of playing the game, we have playbooks. We will go over the playbooks that people have picked for their characters. The game is meant to be very collaborative. There's not really any dice rolling unless you want to randomize the locations that you're going to and certain aspects about NPCs that you meet. And another thing that is intrinsic to the game are tokens. So we get a token which you can use to shape the world around you. When your character inconveniences yourself to help someone else, gives away something you hold dear, pause a moment and get some rest, leave an offering to a small or forgotten god, speak your true feelings on a subject, take a moment to bask in the grandeur of the world and describe it to the table, take a moment to watch a tiny moment of beauty and describe it to the table, or take a moment to marvel at something no one has ever seen before and ask the table to describe it. There's also, I believe, some things in your playbook that give you tokens. For example, for the caretaker, like this world has holidays and things like that. So during a holiday, say, you can spend a token to make a certain type of change to the world. In the caretaker's book, it's like if you turn an abandoned place into a shrine. Really, it's just about collaborative world building, having fun. Okay, so let's talk about our characters. I can go first as an example if y'all want, or we can just have somebody do their playbook thing and start the character questions.
I'm down for whatever.
What direction do you? Because it's like ask one on the left,
to
and
the
then
left
the right.
and to the right. Okay. So I'm looking at the screen let's go in a clockwise manner. So for your left, it would be me or Trevor, Sarah. And for your right, it would be Robin / Pilot.
Okay.
So, for example, a character that I rolled up here, I say rolled, there's no dice involved. Yoli is an armadillo, is a caretaker, who someone must pay attention to all the small and forgotten things in this world. Someone must listen to the voiceless. You are alive. Your care is tender, supportive, and silent. So for things that you can pick out, this game is not just, what's your powers, everything. It's for the caretaker, it's I value, and two things. I picked being gentle and being patient, and I find it exhausting to be, and I picked alert and organized. For the look, you can use the stuff that's in there. If you have an idea, you can go with that. So Yoli has a faded shawl, ceremonial robes, huge glasses, and I wrote a cane, but that's kind of connected to an object I have. My friends in my shrines that I carry are Furtive, the god of dust bunnies and cobwebs, who is quiet, Ravel, the god of tangled yarn, who is cheerful, Zenith, god of a single sunbeam, luminescent, and an object I honor that I'm carrying with me is a beautiful wooden walking stick adorned with feathers and runes passed down through generations that my character uses as a cane, basically. An object that I have but cannot treasure any longer, a handbook attempting to name all the gods, written by a poetic writer I once loved. So for questions for that, for example, it would be, ask to the left and right, which of my small and forgotten gods did you rescue and give to me? Things like that. So who wants to who wants to go? And I'll do these questions last.
I'll go first.
Okay.
For Trev, does Trev think the moths are as beautiful as Bedelia does?
The moths are absolutely beautiful. There is nothing that I like to see more than the moths flying into the sunrise.
Bedelia feels exactly the same way. Do you want me to do both of mine or like go around?
Yeah. So let's see.
So would you like us to begin with the questions or just describing our character and kind of going down?
Either.
Either way? Okay. I can go with my character unless you want to continue with the questions.
Let me do, I got my other one. So for why did I risk my job and career to help you? Pilot.
Ooh, that's a rough one. Okay. Can I come back to that one upon hearing more about your personality?
Yeah,
okay.
We can come back to it.
All right, I'm gonna write it down.
So Bedelia is a moth tender. They carrier moths travel across the heath, bringing news, letters, and tiny boxes. You wander the land, keeping an eye on those moths and owners. You are alive. Your care is consistent, prompt, and arrives in small packages. She is a maned wolf. Two things that her job asks her to be are calm and studious. And then two that she actually is cheerful and pretty. And then I have, she wears like a tweed vest, like very fancy. It's a little thread that's like a little beat up. Then she has a very bright, like yellow dress underneath that very much clashes with the vest. And she's always carrying around like a little lantern to signal for the moths. And she has a map that she's always checking of moth towers that are all over. And then I have one thing that she would devote her life to protecting. And it's a pink orchid that is constantly reminding her of the promise she made to her fellow revolutionaries. And then one item that is falling apart, that's in danger of falling apart. And it's a decoder for the secret moth tending cipher.
She is such a better moth tender than my character, who just like lazes around and does nothing all day.
And then she's got a few packages. I don't know if I've got 3 of them. I don't know if you'll want to hear what they are or.
It is your choice if you want to share that or not.
Okay. I have a scroll of ancient and mysterious magic for the heroic leader of the last outpost of the rebellion. A wax sealed love letter for a poetic blue jay that she dated at one point. The letter is not from her, so that's kind of awkward. And a basket of homemade candies for a cheerful young rabbit who just moved to a big city.
That's adorable.
I know.
Pilot likes candies, so he'd be like, a little curious to see if you could like taste test them, make sure they're not expired.
They're all very carefully wrapped up in little bags and boxes.
You never know.
And that's everything I have on her. She's usually pretty outwardly like calm and collected, at least when she's doing her job. She's pretty tall. Maned wolves are like really leggy and long. She's got really long legs.
Yeah, I love the art for her.
Yeah, if you hop into our Discord, which there's a command to, let me try it again. You can, there we go. You can join in the fun by joining our Discord. You can hop into the room to discuss our game and see some of the art there.
And I guess that leaves me.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Okay, cool. Well, Pilot Plum, like I said, is a moth tender, a much less professional moth tender. I don't think he's really aware that it's like a job that you're supposed to do things, and he really got into it for the love of science and the aerodynamics of a moth's wings. So hear you. Aha. All right. Was that still all going?
I don't think so. Okay. We had a momentary hiccup, but we are back.
I'm not sure where it left off, but I can just say really quickly. Yeah. He loves moths and aerodynamics of how they fly. He wishes to fly someday, so whenever their little scales fall off, he kind of weaves them into this big cloak that he wears. And, he also has like approximate knowledge. Like he's not really aware of the scientific method. So he thinks that the moon is the reason why moths can fly. So every night he kind of goes out there and he runs in the field, and it's not really working yet. But so he's very sleepy. He's kind of like if he sees a good crevice, he's gonna kind of crawl up in it and sleep inside of it. So that's something he's always doing, like yawning. He also obsessively cleans his food, so he's a little bit germaphobe. And when it comes to the actual book things, you see, I made him before the book was out. So now I'm looking, I'm like, oh, there's more details. His packages, I'm gonna say he doesn't really mess with them too much. So he doesn't know what's inside of the packages. He's not sure where they're supposed to go. He's not really familiar with what packages really are, I think. They should have maybe vetted him better.
And the point is he's enthusiastic.
He's enthusiastic, and he loves the moths. Nobody can take the moths away from him. He is very caring for them. So one thing that's worth protecting, I'm going to choose one of those things. So they're just so cool. I'm going to say the wisdom of your caring adoptive mother who reminded you to always be yourself. Yeah, he thinks of that very frequently. He's like, I will fly. It doesn't matter if I don't have wings. And ask one to the left and right. I guess I could do that now.
Okay. So to your left is going to be Bedelia, to your right is going to be Trevor. I realize that's not how it is on the screen, but I'm doing it counterclockwise, or I'm doing it clockwise So there's a method
Hey, that
to
works.
this.
That works.
As long as we know what we're doing.
I usually just pick someone completely random, so there's some order at least. Ask one to left and right. I'm gonna start with Bedelia, and then I'll answer, I guess, after. I guess I should ask what about my job appeals to you, because it's your job. When did I realize I could trust you?
I feel like probably after you spent a little bit of time with her, and you just see like how much she cares about her moths. Like she takes care of them constantly. She's like always making sure they're okay, that they don't wander off too far, that they make it on time. She just cares a lot about her moths. Honestly, less so than getting the packages where they need to go. The moths are what matter.
Okay. And for Trevor, what is it about my job that so appeals to you?
Oh, lizard voice is gone. Okay, well, Trevor is very enamored with the moths and the freedom that they have. They get to travel all over and see all kinds of places. I mean, we're doing that, but they get to do it from a whole different perspective that he is not going to ever get to see because he can't fly. He's a lizard. He can't fly.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find some like bird kifs to go fly us to places. And to answer Bedelia's question, I'm gonna say what you did to risk your job, was it? I think that's kind of an easy one. I think you vouched for me when, let's say, like the people who give us the moth are kind of like, hey, this pilot guy is a little bit not the best, and you're like, no, you love his moth. It's okay.
He's trying his best.
He sleeps all the time. He never gets a single package. He literally hasn't delivered one package yet, but it's okay.
Again, that is so adorable. I love all of these characters already. Sarah, I don't remember if you went for Trevor.
I have not yet.
Okay, yes.
I have not yet. All right, so Trevor is a fool. Life is an adventure, and there's never shame in learning new things. You're alive. Your care is silly and naive and more profound than most expect. So Trevor is a green anno lizard. Goes by he/him. I can't speak. He is lovable and funny. But he is afraid that he's not useful or talented. Trevor has garishly purple pants, a flamboyant hat with a big rainbow feather in it, like probably half the length of his own body. A flowing cape, and he carries a polka dot bindle. And it is very, everything's very purple, very colorful. The polka dot bindle is purple with pastel colored rainbow dots. And of course, he's a green anno lizard, so he's green, and he, goes very well with his fashion sense.
Again, so adorable.
And people do tend to believe that Trevor doesn't know a whole lot about the world. He spent a lot of his life making other people happy, and he also had a lot of expectations put on him when he was younger. And so two things he always carries around with him. One of them he always has readily at hand is Seedy, a small and forgotten witchy god. And the thing he just knows is around here somewhere but can't quite find is a puzzle box that he hasn't yet been able to figure out, that was given by a wise teacher that he met along his travels on the road. So that is Trevor in a nutshell. Let's see. All right, so who's to my right?
To your right, that would be Pilot.
Okay. Let's see. So, Pilot, why are you so patient with me?
I think I love your sense of fashion, and I just like always feel I could learn something from you and the way that you go about handling yourself.
Alrighty, cool. And I take it this other one is for Moss, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What do I say that you've gotten so tired of?
I just have this image in my head of him constantly like trying to chase the moths around and like hold them and play with them. You're like, can I play with them? Can I touch them? And she's like, no.
Can I play
You've
with
touched
your
them like a
moths?
dozen times today. Their wings are very sensitive. You can't handle them too much. No.
Can I hug the moths? Can I?
Exactly.
Oh.
And then I'm just because she has like Bedelia has like a big fluffy tail, and the moths like ride on the tail when she's walking around.
Oh, I love it.
She's just like running away from you with her tail flapping out behind, covered in moths, and you're just like trying to grab.
Oh. Again, this is so adorable.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, so those are our characters. Now, we are going to create our first place, the first place that everybody is setting off from. For this one, I'm gonna roll just to see what we get.
Cool.
So let me find it. Okay, there's a whole thing here of like what place you start with. Let's see.
I think it suggests like comfortable natures.
Yes.
Yeah, like a roll a d6 and then roll another.
Yeah. I'm
D6
trying to find that page. The downside of having a PDF is that it takes me a while to find things.
Yeah.
Okay,
have-
comfortable natures.
Yes, yay.
All right. So, first D6. 5. That is a tower.
Ooh.
We're going to start off in a tower. And let's see what this says about towers. A tower is a place that reaches up to the sky, so it feels like it scrapes against the clouds. So if we want, it doesn't necessarily have to be a building. It could be a big rock, a big tree, something. This place can always... somebody describes something very small and far away. Oh, I'm sorry. This place can always just... When you get up there and you can look, you can see something up there that's very small and far away. It can spread concern around structural stability, and it can make someone dizzy or disoriented, and if that happens, give them a token. So we need to choose 2 aesthetic elements. The elements are narrow, barely stable entrance, winding staircase all the way to the top, shining light warning of danger, roosting moths in the rafters, not enough space for all the clutter, a grieving soul responsible for keeping everything in working order, something else of your own invention. So what of these sounds good to y'all?
I'm totally digging the staircase.
Okay, we got a winding staircase that goes all the way to the top.
What page is that again?
144.
144. I like staircases.
I imagine
Okay.
the staircase like going around the outside of it, so it's even more like
Ooh,
Yeah.
wobbly
I dig
and
that.
weird.
So
Or
one
maybe it
more
like goes
thing.
out and then comes back in and then comes back in and goes
Oh,
around.
I love it.
That's excellent. Very like MC Escher.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, what's another aesthetic thing for this?
Hmm.
I mean, what about roosting moths in the rafters?
That makes
Um,
sense for the two moth
Feels
tenders that we
very
have.
fitting.
Very mothy
Okay,
game.
and I have a feeling I know what this is going to be. We also choose one folklore for this place: the Observatory of the Lightning Dancers, the first of the Moth Towers, the ghost that walks the stairs, or something else of your own invention.
Definitely the moth.
I feel like that's the obvious. Yeah, I'm like, do we want to go with that one? But
Okay,
Do we,
so we are at the first of the Moth Towers.
And do we know what this is made out of? It's like a stone tower. I just had this like
Pick something. What sounds most interesting to y'all? Again, the name
I
of the
was
game
thinking
is
with gigantic-
Collaboration.
well, how would like a gigantic hollowed out tree sound that was type of like a kind of turn into a tower of some sort? Like there's
I love that.
okay.
Heck yeah.
I dig it. I dig it. So we have this tower. Do we want it to be out in the middle of nowhere, or do we want it to be as part of like a city or something? Just when you picture this tower in your mind, what do you see?
I kind of see basically just like a giant hollowed out redwood that's just standing lonely sentinel on the top of a hill.
I like that.
That is beautiful. And Wanderhome has seasons, and the seasons all have holidays. My recommendation is starting in Leap, the first season of the year, because it seems like a good time for like new beginnings.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, so the months of Leap are till soil, when it is time to unthaw the ground and plant crops, and monsoon, when the rains are heavy and constant.
Okay, so we're in Tiltsoil, eh?
Okay, we are in till soil.
Okay.
So the weather right now is, there's still a chill in the air, but it's, winter's over. In the daytime, it's getting to be pretty comfortably warm. At night, it's still kind of cold, very cool. Just the temperature is just right for the new plants to start. You see little green shoots starting to poke out of the ground. Now, what are y'all doing at this tower? Also, does the tower have a name?
Are we gonna just do the one nature, or are we picking two more for it?
That is
Because it says to
correct.
pick three. I was
Pick
just
three.
didn't know if we were.
Okay, let me find that. Thank you for reminding. This is the first time I'm ever running this, so I'm still a little. Okay. Looking for the nature. Here we go. I think. Okay. So what we can. Okay, we have the comfortable natures, which we've picked. It's a tower. There's also verdant natures. I feel like we kind of picked that with the description where it's on a hill.
Yeah.
So in that case, a hillock is a place in the foothills of a great and looming presence. This place can always describe what we stand in the shadows of, show a threat that's up ahead, ask, what are you worried lies ahead, and give them a token if they're right. For aesthetic elements, we have a sheltered valley, strange pile of stones, deep gorge, scattered fragments of civilization, evidence of a distant strangeness, a quiet foreigner from higher up, or something else.
This is for the hillock, yeah?
Yeah.
So like the surrounding area.
Mm.
The thing that jumps out to me is, for some reason, the like remnants of civilization. There's just huge tower,
Same.
and there's just these little bits and pieces of crumbled ruins around it.
Yeah. And
Okay.
maybe the tree itself is also kind of beat up a little bit. Like it's real old.
Okay.
Yeah, I was picturing the inside of this tree being like almost like the top of a cathedral where you have those wood panels going every which way and it's dusty and
Ooh. Okay.
yeah, on that Shattered Valleys. Civilization.
Okay. So do y'all want to choose another aesthetic element for it, or?
I personally like a hillock. If everyone else likes it as well, I don't mind.
Okay.
It's okay with everybody?
Yeah.
Again, I'm sorry with that beeping. I don't know what that beeping is.
Oh, I don't hear any beeping.
Okay.
I like the scattered fragments of civilization. I could imagine like
Mhm.
more put together but very abandoned different types of houses of all different sizes, like tiny houses, larger houses. And as you get closer and closer to the tower, they're more destroyed and I suppose desolate.
Okay. And does anyone
And-
else have? So this is a hill with that. As you go further down the hill, there would be more, maybe some people still living in those houses. Maybe that's where you're from, but it's not exactly a population center here. And do we want, evidence of distant strangeness, sheltered valley, pile of stones, deep gorge?
What about the quiet foreigner from higher up?
Okay.
I don't know what higher up would be in this example, but like it could just be someone from somewhere else.
It
Yeah.
could be like somebody with longer tenure than you in the moth tenders, maybe coming to visit with strange moths
Yeah, or news.
or
That would
news.
be
Okay, and
that would
folklore. Folklore about this place: the goat who slept for 100 years, the fallen star and the stories she told, the hidden treasure of the hyena king, or something else.
I like the fallen star.
Yeah.
Based on like the idea of like going up kind of, but it's funny we're kind of going down almost. We're starting from a high place, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one also.
okay.
Okay. I'm sorry.
We have to choose. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have to choose in one more place and then two kiths. I can never do. Can't pronounce words. Afterwards, right?
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so the natures that we have left are liminal, sprawling, lonely, and desolate.
And nothing says you can't pick more than one in the comfortable yada
Also
yada
true.
natures too. So
Yeah. So if someone wants something comfortable, if something wants something verdant,
And they also don't have to be like literal. They could
yes,
be,
they could be
Yeah.
it could be
metaphorical.
it could be a metaphorical swamp or
Okay, so what do y'all want? Comfortable, or do we just want to roll?
I say roll.
Okay.
yeah, you can roll like for what section and then roll again for which one inside.
Okay, so first up is verdant, and inside verdant, we have swamp.
Nice.
I'm gonna hear it again.
So do you want it to be a literal or metaphorical swamp?
I feel like probably metaphorical swamp just because, the ruins and people getting stuck here or, nobody being able to stay here.
Maybe people that are stuck in the past, maybe.
Yeah.
There are still people that are stuck in the past. The people that do still live here are like stuck in the past.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, and now we pick some kith. So first of all, we have that stranger, the foreign higher up, coming, I guess you said, to bear news? Okay. Does anybody have any particular thing in mind for that? Or like species, name, anything? Bit of news?
Hmm.
Hmm.
I'm seeing a very old badger.
I like that.
I don't know why. Just a badger.
I like it.
Now I've got that song stuck in my head.
What is the page where the Kith are again?
We have all the Kith traits
Ah, here we go.
on page 113.
Okie dokie.
So for each Kith we write down the following information: name and pronouns, animal form or species or manifestation, relationship to another character, a single detail, occupation, quirky trait, interest, etc., at least 2 traits and what those let the Kith do, and anything else that you want to add.
Okay. All right. So are we? I guess for the tower we should start, right?
I feel like we've already been given one with that badger. We could, or with
Yeah.
the foreigner from higher up. We could flesh them out more
Totally.
as one of them.
Okay. Any pronouns or a name or anything like that for this badger?
No names are coming to me. Are we using the traits to kind of build off of them?
Yeah, we can go to traits first to
It already said they're quiet,
yes.
so we have that. I mean, you could just use they them pronouns.
Okay.
We already kind of are.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I see quiet right there. Grounded traits. Quiet Kith doesn't have much to say.
Okay. I'm picturing basically I'm picturing Wolverine but as a badger, that sort of grumpy but caring but doesn't want you to know it.
I
Doesn't
love
really
it.
want to be here.
I love it.
Yeah, I was picturing him like he knows something or he has something. Maybe it's not a secret, but he's kind of holding on to about the tower of some way, or maybe he needs help with something.
Yeah.
Maybe they used to be stationed here and then they left and they don't want to come back, but they
Okay.
have to for some
I like
reason.
that.
Okay. And do we want any other traits for them? There's artistic, grounded, intellectual, personal, physical, social, and traumatized.
Oh. It's heavy.
Yeah, I can roll for random if y'all want.
What if they were I see them like heroic a little bit,
Okay.
but
So
we could do rolling.
let's see. Where would heroic be? Oh, there it is, under traumatized traits.
Yeah, 131.
Okay, so somebody who is heroic. A heroic Kith believes they are the savior of the world. What a cruel fate indeed. They're often dragon slayers, leaders of the rebellion, and those arrogant enough to seek out power, amongst others. Does everyone like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that.
Okay, does anybody have a name idea? If not, I do.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm awful at coming up with names.
Yeah, what's your idea?
Logan.
I love it. It's perfect.
I love it. It works.
Okay.
Logan.
And do we want another Kith who hangs around, maybe outside of the tower?
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like we should have some kind of like balance between.
So maybe someone. Let's try something on the social tab, maybe?
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. That landed on the bag, too. That would be friendly.
Ooh.
Ooh, I like the idea of like a friendly Kith who is an innkeeper but lives in an empty tower.
Okay.
Ooh,
Or like
can
maybe
it be a
like-
hedgehog?
Okay.
That would be perfect.
Do you picture this hedgehog being young, middle-aged, elderly?
I'm kind of seeing someone more in the young to middle-aged range, more than
Yeah.
older.
Okay, we have a young, middle-aged hedgehog innkeeper. Any pronouns or name ideas?
Hmm.
I kind of picture this like middle-aged like English tavern keeper. I don't want to say like I'm trying to think of a good example. I don't know. I just picture like a big apron, like kind of like very like round. Like I suppose like hedgehogs are, and like very like maternal, and some type of like bandana over their head, but little spikes are popping out.
I'm
That's
picturing-
something.
Did
In an
y'all-
apron.
Yes. Did y'all grow up with Beatrix Potter, the books, and
I
Mhm.
know of them, but I've never read them.
Okay, I'm picturing Mrs. Tiggy Winkle.
Very much so.
Yes, very round, the apron.
I just keep thinking of one of the hedgehogs from Animal Crossing, so I'm not much help.
I mean, yeah.
That also fits.
So we have a middle-aged hedgehog. Any ideas for a name? Or pronouns? Or both?
Totally she/her.
Definitely she, her. I always blank on names.
I just like pick names that are like sounds, but not really the best names. I feel like for other people.
Okay, I'm at a name generator if we can't think up anything.
What about
That's
Sadie?
probably.
What about what?
Sadie.
Sadie.
I like Sadie.
Excellent.
too.
Okay, and do we want to pick another trait for this character, or does this sound good?
Get really attached to an inanimate object sounds kind of fun.
That does sound fun. What could she be attached to?
Hmm. I'm not sure. I'm just imagining. Let's see.
It could be the tree itself.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
She could love this tree and maybe want people to come and spend some time here or kind of spruce up her place, and could need some help doing that, or could be really attached to it in some type of way.
Yeah.
And like maybe she's trying to like get people to come back. Like new people to come in and move. And
I like this. We have a really good dichotomy here. We have Logan the Badger, who I guess presumably came back to tell people to go or something, and Sadie, who wants people to like visit.
Yeah, like he's aware of some type of legend or myth that makes him spooked out, and she, on the other hand, is thinking this isn't like something that we have to run from.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
they.
Okay, so legend. Do we want it to be something about the star that we already have, or do we want something else?
I think the star would work well. Like maybe there's supposed to be something under the tree or that the tree's on top of to protect.
Okay. Okay, so I think that sets the scene pretty well. And we have an hour and a half of game time left. Do we want to wait? Yes. Do we want to do that or take a break? Let's start.
I'll take a small break.
Okay,
Get
we're
some more
going to
water.
take like a 5-minute break. Now that everything is set up, we will be back in just a second. And we're back, hopefully. Are we back? I think we're back. So, the first part of our game was kind of explaining the game, setting things up, setting our characters up, and setting where we are starting off from, which is a mostly abandoned village around this tower on a hill. The tower has a legend about a falling star. And we have two characters for us to meet and interact with, Logan the Badger and Sadie the Hedgehog. So, everyone is here at this tower. It's evening, let's say, so the moths are starting to become active. Are you in the tower? Are you on the grounds? Are you in the mostly abandoned village?
I think it'd be interesting to like be just coming into the area, you know, because we've been traveling and we're just getting there.
Okay.
Yeah, what if we kind of traveled through some woods, so we didn't really go through the village even, and now we're seeing we're on top of this, hill, and there's this grand tower in front of us.
Okay.
And I have a stick that I broke off as well. My guy, he's a little bit round and it's harder to walk through the woods all this time. So he just like threw his stick off and just gonna lay on the grass.
Okay, the grass is comfortable and it's still got some of the day's warmth as you're lying on it.
Bedelia will just like plop down right next to him too, and just be like looking up at the tree and all the moths flying around, and some of her moths will probably like go and start flying around.
Yeah, Trev will flop in the grass with them. Plop his bindle next to him on the ground and fold his arms behind his head and watch the moths with their little moth dust in the fading sunlight as the stars start to pop out, and just look at how beautiful it is. Ever seen a more beautiful sight?
And for taking all this in, everybody gets a token, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yay!
Hey, is it what's like the weather like? Is it a little cloudy, overcast, or can we see the stars?
Let's say you can see the stars starting to come out. There's the sun is it just went off the horizon. You can see the first couple of stars start popping up. The sky still has that kind of glow to it because the sun isn't quite that far down the horizon, but it's gone.
And we're like kind of up on this big hill, so like maybe the rest of it's all kind of dark, but we're still in the sun a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the last bits of sunlight are kind of creaking away on us. I'm gonna say Pilot is gonna reach into his bag of goodies and grab a big, like kind of almost stale loaf of bread, and and offer it to everybody and see who just wants to take a bite. There's no knives or anything, just like handing the loaf around.
Yeah, Trev will break off a piece and, nibble on it. Oh, I thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
well,
Lily will take some. Just like, thank you.
I got it wrapped up, so I got rid of the wrapping, and there was like a stamp on it for some reason. But it's great bread. I'm just munching it.
Bedelia is just not going to say anything, just and eat the bread slowly, just sitting there.
Yeah, he's listlessly staring into the night sky while he munches.
You can see some of the moths a couple of moths start to take flight from the nearby tower.
Yeah, I think the pilot kind of looks at the tower and he's just trying to see if there's any windows coming out of it. Maybe, does it look like a tree from the outside, or is it like obviously a tower?
I'd imagine it looks like a tree.
Hmm.
Just it's like a tree with the stairs that have come in and out, maybe some moss growing on it, some vines. It's just it's huge. It's like a redwood. It's giant diameter, just straight up to the sky.
He begins to kind of rub his chin as he realizes, he thinks aloud, this is a fantastic opportunity to try out my moth cloak. It hasn't worked yet, but it is very dark outside, and we have so many moths. And he kind of trails off as he looks at the highest stair. Maybe we should explore it.
Trev will finish off his bread as he is now balancing on his tail, kind of sitting on his tail. Well, that sounds like it might be an idea. Bit dark up there at the moment, but quite a beauty.
And while they're talking, Bedelia will be like lighting her lantern. It's not super bright, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, you need some more fireflies for that thing. And
The
where were
firefly
we going?
inside yawns.
It's just basically a jar.
You gotta charge that thing. I'm gonna offer the firefly a piece of bread.
Firefly's gonna reach out with its little arms and just nom, 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 nom.
The brightness increases by twofold.
Is there any light coming from the tree, or is it?
The lights are starting to turn on, mostly towards the bottom of the tree. There's, there's some windows carved in, and you can see where, it's lighting up on its own. Presumably someone inside either lit an oil lamp or has their own fireflies. So not every window, in fact, not most of them, but there's a couple.
Like just the ones towards the bottom.
Yeah, the top is presumably where the moths are. So it's a bit darker. It's a lot darker up there.
Well, at least it looks like there's people there. Oh my gosh, it went Australian.
That's fine. A while back, I was trying to do an accent for a game, and it ended up being just this horrible mishmash. I was like, oh my god, I studied for weeks. Why did it sound like this?
Yeah, Trev is going to break several times until I get it down pat.
Yeah, that's fine.
It is very amusing, though.
If I could do a perfect Joe Pesci impression, I would have that be my character, for every single game I ever play. So, whatever works.
Aw, Joe Pesci, Tanuki.
Well, I think at this point, the sleepiness or the exhaustion of the long travels is kind of washed over the little guy, and he's gonna look around and suddenly realize, oh, we're somewhere new, and this tower is so unfamiliar. Do any of you know where we are?
Bedelia will say, I do. And she'll like get her backpack and she's got this huge map. Like she has to like unfold it like a dozen times. And it's like her arms are spread out to try to read it.
You're so professional.
And it's just like it's a fairly basic map of just a huge space of land. And there's all these little like circles and spots on it. And she'll like spend a second looking over it, and then she'll be like, right there. She'll point at a spot on the map. We're right there. It's a very old moth tower.
Yeah, keep that away from my moths. They love eating paper.
Mine too. That's why I have it in the bag and don't carry it around.
Moth tries to climb over your shoulder and try to grab it with his little moth.
She'll just like gently shoo it away.
It kind of meh and flutters back to.
Yeah. What sound do moths make?
Whatever sound we feel like making that day.
I picture them making the little sound effects that the Hollow Knight characters make. If any of you are familiar with that,
I have not played Hollow Knight.
They make like little sing-songy, like little tunes. Yeah, Hapanada.
Yeah.
And my cloak is just, it just kind of moves at time, and at times you'll notice that it's basically almost completely made of moths. They're kind of like camouflaged in. So I guess it'll just come over to me and get back in the little cloak. So we're at this tower. Maybe the map is so old that the tower seems like it should be populated, or there should be like a city around us, and yet we're kind of surrounded by this hillocks that are more or less abandoned.
Yeah, it's a fairly old map. Like that's part of the reason she's traveling around, is to go and check on all these towers and see if they're still there or still being used. So
something happened to this tower, I think, since then.
It does look quite old.
At least the surrounding area. But looks like there's someone in there. Do we want to go inside?
Yeah, come on. And Trev will bounce off of his tail, do kind of a little handstand, grabbing his bindle on the way, and start, doing a really funny two-legged lizard run.
I'm picturing
just like legs splayed out to the side running.
Did any of y'all ever watch Rescuers Down Under?
Yes, and that is where I'm imagining
Frank.
Yes. Yes.
And can he climb up walls as a gecko?
He's not a gecko. He's a green anole lizard, but I think they can climb.
They can.
They're not super good at it.
That live near me.
They're not quite as good at it.
Yeah, they're not as quite as sticky as geckos, but they can do the climbing.
They're really good at grabbing like rough surfaces, like rock and trees.
Yeah, the tree would probably be perfect for that. So yes, Trev is now running towards the tower in his very wide legged stance, bindle bobbing up and down. Come on!
Bedelia will start moving a little faster, but like not quite as quickly. Like she'll pick up pace, but not try to keep up with him.
Like power walking, or
I think like she was walking pretty slowly, like still reading the map, and then she's put it away now, and she's like fully walking.
Okay.
Just got this big grin on her face. And like as she's walking, all of her moths start like going off for the night to go wherever moths go. So she's like walking towards the tower, and there's like a bunch of this cloud of moths just poofing off of her tail.
Okay.
Sorry, I had a phone call.
Yeah, no worries. Again, I forgot to mention this at the very beginning of the stream. We use the X, N, and O cards in case anybody's uncomfortable. Also, traffic light system works for that too. And we have a step away at any time policy. If your health, you have a call, Just something comes up. It's perfectly fine. You don't have to feel guilty. You don't even have to tell me, but you can step away. Okay.
Okay.
I need to write all the stuff down that I need to say before next time. So,
And so what just happened the last? Sorry. You guys just run through
Bedelia's
the tower?
moths started flying out as the dark falls to do their little moth business.
Hmm.
And Trev has taken off full tilt towards the tower.
I'm gonna say my moths did not do their like official moth business, and instead flew towards the top of the tower where perhaps the window light is brightest. And I'm gonna be calling after them, but they've gone too far. I'm kind of like, oh, now I have to go up there, and so many stairs.
Yeah, mine Bedelia's definitely aren't like going off to do anything important. They're just like, she lets them go and roam at night to go whatever ones are with her, because I feel like she's kind of constantly like some are flying off and leaving and some are coming back to her, and I don't know how they find her, but they always do.
It's moth secrets. It's fine.
Yeah, and sometimes they have packages coming to her. Sometimes they're leaving with packages. She's got a big backpack full of packages.
So I'm assuming a moth tower would probably be something that has to attract them. Maybe there's like a giant, almost like a lighthouse, like it needs to be lit, and a very bright light of some sort.
Yes.
This one probably isn't because it's so old.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like there's some differently colored moths around this tower that are I keep seeing like these deep purple moths flying around.
Yeah. So what if I go up to go what seems like a door, and I try to knock on it, but then it kind of just squishes in, and it opens up to be a gigantic moth that had they have patterns in their wing, and the pattern was a door pattern.
Oh, I like
Flies
that.
up really quickly, and it's away, and now it's just a wall.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, this big
Not
kind
that
of
one.
atlas moth type thing that blends in with the tree and has the kind of suggested pattern of a door. And it just looks at you, goes, "Meow," and then flies away.
Moth is gonna write that one down in his notebook and kind of. I'm sorry, Pilot's gonna mutter to himself. The door one is much better than the one that looks like a bridge or a tunnel, rather.
Oh no. Oh no.
Write down door moth. Must be native to this area.
Yeah, I always imagine the moths as being pretty brightly colored. Like there's like moth colored ones, but then there's also some more bright colored ones.
Yeah, I'm playing this phone game lately where it's all about like raising moths, and they're all just these beautiful colors and kind of luminescent and
Yeah.
very much the part of the birds of this world.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have the ones that are basically, pigeons and blend in. And then you have the ones that are like the
Parrots.
scarlet ibis. Yes, the parrots of this world.
Yeah.
If parrots
Ooh,
delivered the
scarlet
mail.
ibises. Very cool.
Yeah. So I guess I'm gonna try to begin looking for a door with all of y'all if you want to help me.
Oh yeah, Trev is totally down for that. He is he'll slow down and start doing, meandering around, still doing the weird wide lizard walk.
I want to draw that so badly.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess we'll go look for a door that's real. Maybe one that actually has like light coming out of it.
Yeah, and Trev's gonna call out, "Hello, hello, anybody home except the moths? Hello, hello."
So who answers the door?
What if there is a staircase, almost like a fire escape, like the stairs kind of wrap around and go in and out, and the stairs are a bit broken, so we can't exactly get up there, but maybe like a couple feet above there's a door and or maybe a window, and the shades kind of open and we could see someone looking at us.
Ooh, I like.
I mean, I'd like imagine like that's where Sadie started her tavern, was like in the first or second level of the tree itself.
Yeah.
Okay. So this out of this window, a bit above the several broken stairs, this hedgehog pops her head out, and you just see, the very round cheeks, pointy nose, wearing a little bandana that her spikes are poking through, dressed in shades of, I don't know, pink, purple, blue, pastels.
I could
Well, like,
definitely see pastels.
Very friendly pastels. And she looks out and waves at you and says, "Oh, hello, are you new? I've never seen you before. You must be new."
We are.
We just got
Hello.
here.
"Oh, well, come in. It might be a bit of a jump."
Oh, that's not a problem for me. Here, hold on. And Trev will just kind of do his lizard thing and like hook the bindle kind of in a funny angle and then kind of three-leg it up the side a little bit. And then he'll stick the end out to help Vidalia and Pilot up to a secure spot.
Bedelia's pretty tall, so like I feel like he offers, and she's just like, no, help Pilot, and she like just jumps and climbs up herself.
Pilot is gonna appreciate the help and like nod, and then put his arms beneath his cloak and go like, "Well, I too can get up there with little help." And begins flapping and really quickly, and he's jumping up and down at the same time, but nothing's happening.
The moths on the cloak are holding on and flapping their little wings to try and help you.
Yes, that's it. This usually works. It's just that 20 or 30 of them did fly at the top of the tower. I swear. He's gonna just give up and reach out his hand to Trev.
And Trev will hold out the end of his bindle, and then help, pull Pilot up. It's all right. You can, once you get your moths back, you can try again. I'm sure it'll work next time.
Thank you. And he's gonna just give you like the rest of the bread.
Aw.
Nom.
Friends.
Yeah, he will do a very lizardy thing and wrap his tongue around it and just kind of chew it and swallow it whole. Kind of like, a lizard would do with a fly. Nope.
Picturing like a cartoonish lump down Trevor's throat as he swallows.
Yep, exactly. He Yoshi'd it.
Excellent. So now that you're all within, distance of the door that's up there, Sadie pulls her head back in the window. You can hear her little thump 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 as she walks and opens the door. Takes a couple of tries. The hinge might need a little fixing. She opens it. "Hello, welcome. Come in.
Let's go in.
I'm in. I just take off my shoes. I get comfy.
Just kick them off as you walk in the door.
They go
Trev will-
flying across the room. What was that?
Trev will sweep off his hat and bow, and just, hello, thank you.
Is it just her in here, or are there like does it seem like it's fairly like used, or is it pretty empty?
I mean, what I'm picturing, and if anyone else, wants to add or is like, no, I don't like that. I'm picturing that this was a room that used to be kind of very obviously for something else, but at some point, a stove was kind of fitted in, and some mismatched tables were dragged in, and it's somebody's attempt to make it look very cozy and very warm, but it was very obviously like a former equipment room or something.
Yeah,
I love that. I could just picture
I love it.
tapestries like nailed into the walls, kind of like covering up like the beautiful kind of old architecture a bit.
Yeah, somebody like presumably Sadie, maybe a family member, someone just got these tapestries and these scarves and blankets and has just kind of tacked them up trying so it's all mismatched floral prints and tapestries of just things from the past, maybe some stuff that was grabbed while the Moth Tower was more populated, so it's kind of threadbare but still looks kind of grand.
Dare I say some of it is a little moth-eaten?
Very much so.
Bite marks everywhere.
So, do you think this little makeshift tavern would be populated? Are you the only ones here? Is there only like one person, 2 or 3 people here?
Oh, unless someone has something to say. Sorry.
Okay.
I had an idea, but did anyone else have anything?
I feel like with the stairs like in disrepair, nobody's been able to come in recently. So like maybe it was busier, but she hasn't been able to get the stairs fixed, so it's pretty empty now.
Yeah, I'm just picturing like she introduced it like this is like a very grand type of hotel, and there's beds kind of strewn about, and yet there's no people in it whatsoever.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so
And
yeah, sorry.
no, you go.
No, I was just going to say that Sadie's going to introduce herself. Hello, I'm Sadie, and this is my hotel, my inn, Sadie's.
I love the name.
Thank you.
I'm Trev.
Wonderful to meet you, Trev.
Oh, yeah.
Bedelia.
Hello, Bedelia.
And you can call me Pilot.
Hello, Pilot. Well, you're the first people who've passed through here in so long. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, I didn't realize that this was an inn. Bedelia's map, I think, may have been a little inaccurate.
Well, it's sort of a recent thing. If by recent you mean the past few years. It used to be a bit busier, but nobody really comes by here anymore, which is a shame. The view is amazing once you go a little higher up.
Why wouldn't anybody want to come here? It's so the tree is so beautiful.
Something about all the ruins being depressing. I think they're interesting.
I mean, I do as well.
There's so many interesting old things in those ruins.
Is that where you found all these tapestries?
Some of them. Some came from further up in the tower.
Oh, yes. I need to go up there. My moths seem to have flown away. And he's gonna like begin looking around. Are the stairs in this room working, or like?
I would feel like they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a little bit more sheltered from the outside. They're probably just old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was asking earlier if Trev could climb walls because I was like, maybe he could go up there.
He definitely will as needed. Well, I think this is a lovely place.
Thank you.
It really is a shame that nobody comes by here. This is one of the first moth towers, isn't it?
I think it might be the first moth tower.
Really?
I think there's... I found a book further up in the tower. It seemed very old. I didn't want to move it. But it was talking about how they decided, wouldn't it be a great idea if we could communicate more easily across distances? And the moths wanted to help.
Oh, how wonderful!
And while she's talking, Bedelia will just be like, she'll have like a little piece of paper and a little pencil and be writing down what she's saying. She's taking notes.
I do suppose as a moth tender, I should be on official business, maybe to look around and see how the place could be helped and can aid you and the moths as well. Perhaps we could get it back up in tip-top shape.
Oh, that would be lovely.
And Bedelia is gonna ask Sadie. She's gonna ask, do you know when this tower was last in use? Was it since you've been here, or?
Well, people have come and gone, but nobody's really stayed in my lifetime.
I would like to know what happened, because it seems fairly fine as a tower.
Well, there's a story down in what used to be a village further down the mountain. I don't know if anybody still lives there. They might have moved since the stairs broke and I couldn't really come in and out as easily. But there was this old story about a falling star. And it came and it visited here. And some things it liked. It liked the moths. It liked the tree. It liked the land. But it wanted everything to stay exactly as it was when it arrived. So this falling star burrowed itself under, and everyone stayed, and everyone stayed exactly as they were. And I always thought it explained why everybody seemed so... I don't want to say quiet because there was a lot of talking, but nothing ever changed when I was young. And I came here to try and make a change, try and bring some life to this tower. But either way, if the legend's true or not, everyone here is a little weird. Probably me too.
Yeah, we didn't see anybody as we were coming up to the tower, so.
Pilot's gonna like snap his fingers and like, aha, I have a great idea. Bedelia, what was it that originally made these towers so bright at the top? Maybe if we could find what they used at the time, we could get it back in use and attract more people to this location and liven up the place a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't ever been in a tower this old. I don't know if it would be the same thing that we use now, or
Trev claps.
we'll have to look. We'll have to go up and see what's up there.
Yeah, Trev claps his hands together. He's like, "Oh, that sounds like such a wonderful adventure. And maybe we can do something about those stairs too."
I would love that. I've tried to fix them, but it turns out I'm not very good with a hammer.
Yeah, this place is only tall people accessible currently. So I'm gonna just start kind of walking up the creaky stairs, very, very slowly. Maybe looking back towards my crew nervously. Would anyone like to go first?
I will. And Bedelia will like run up and like step like sort of around / over you, and then start going up the stairs. She takes them like 4 at a time.
Yeah, Trev will climb up the stairs and then actually do the wall crawl to go around
Just,
you
like,
and follow.
slithering up the wall.
Yes, exactly.
Just like, too slow.
Yeah, I'll call back down to our innkeeper and say, we'll be right back down.
Ow.
Okay, be careful. I haven't been that far up in a while. I don't know what it's like towards the top.
I'm sure we'll be okay.
So as
Okay.
you climb, what do you see?
I guess who's in front? I guess it's you two, and then I'm in the back. So you two would see it before me.
I mean, I would imagine like it goes up to like the it goes around to the top of that first room and then like maybe passes outside again. So we're like out on the outside of the tree.
Hmm.
You can like see out. It's dark now, but you can still kind of see the shape of the hills.
Your little lantern is going to come in so handy.
Yeah, she's got it like she's carrying it as
Yeah.
high as high as she can to spread light around.
And it takes you back inside eventually.
Yeah, and maybe to like another small room, or not small room. It probably fills the whole inside.
Yeah, I guess at this point I'm just not too far behind. Of kind of like this pilot's not really afraid of heights. It's more the creakiness of the stairs. And I'll get into the next room with y'all. And maybe it's a little bit less populated looking, or kind of less pretty in that way, and it looks a bit more like an old place that was used for business types of work.
Maybe it's
Yeah,
like
oh, go ahead.
maybe it's a lot more dusty. Maybe there's some scattered leaves on the ground from where they've maybe traveled. Been blown in through one of the holes.
Yeah, I was imagining like a really dusty like old dormitory, like or like barracks where like people would sleep as they were passing through. There's like papers and leaves and everywhere, and maybe some old desks.
Yeah, what if we see a bunch of white moths fluttering above us, kind of like in a hanging lamp, and when we come in, they kind of flutter down, they settle down, and when they open their wings, they look like some of those papers, and they kind of just lose themselves amongst all the papers everywhere.
Ooh,
It's like, no, don't eat us. We're
Okay.
paper.
paper moths. I like it.
Yeah, so these moths, as you come in, just like as they're disturbed, it's just kind of a poof, and they flutter around, and the breeze from their wings kind of stirs the papers around.
Trev tries to pet one.
They're probably not as tame as the ones that we walk around with.
Of course, probably not.
They're wild. That's pretty cool though. I could just picture like a bit of almost like a breeze going through the room, and like my cloak fluttering very gently. And I'm gonna just keep going upstairs and keep rising.
I feel like Trev will start whistling just a little tune as they start, continue on up the way.
And so now that we're kind of high up, because because these what is it, the natures have things that they can do, like this place can always, and I would like to you do the spread concern around structural stability.
Okay.
So maybe this section of the stairs is a lot more creaky and not as stable.
Okay, so as you're walking, there's just very definite. There's always been kind of the creaks of wood in nail holes that it doesn't quite fit anymore due to age. But here it's definitely much more noticeable. It's a series of very loud creaks and kind of concerning groans as you walk.
Yeah, what if like a step breaks right beneath Pilot and it just tumbles down? We're outside, so it just hits all the lower ones and tumbles down.
Okay, it snaps and you hold on. You manage to not fall, but the stair itself, you can see the broken pieces just tumbling down.
And Bedelia will like grab him, like the top of his cloak, so he doesn't go any farther down, and like help pull him out of the stair.
If only I had all my moths. What was that, Trevor?
Trev will whip around and attempt to help Vidalia pull you back up.
I just picture like you holding Bedelia, Bedelia holding me, and just like
Exactly.
dragging you back up. And I'm kind of just like looking down at the ground, like, whoops. Yeah. I'm gonna get on my feet and scratch my head like embarrassed and be like, thank you so much again for always saving me.
Of course. Maybe we should stay closer to the tower as we go up, not as far out on the stairs. Kind of inch our way around.
Yeah. Shimmy away.
You two go ahead and mate. I'll keep an eye out on you two, and I'll I'll grab one of you if it happens again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now we're ready for it.
Okay,
So-
sorry.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, as you keep climbing up, what are some other things that you see on the way to the top? Do you get to the top?
I was picturing as we enter the next room, there is a gigantic pile of dust kind of blocking the way in. And it just looks like maybe like soot. Like if there was a fire, all the soot maybe came down here and it wasn't cleaned out. And it just needs to be blown away or pushed out in some way.
Okay.
I like that.
So yeah, it's this very. It seems like it was from a long time ago. You can't tell how long due to the presence of the soot and dust, but you can look up and you can see a hole going to the next room, the next couple of rooms, as you go up the tower. And there's bits of broken furniture, burnt books, burnt scrolls, just in all various states of. Obviously, something happened here, and that something was a fire.
Mhm.
And the walls are sooty, and there's parts where there's some clean spots. You can see some moth tracks. You can see where the rain was dripping down, so there's some moss growing into it.
I'm gonna notice there's like a table and there's some ceramic plates on it with like food that looks like it didn't completely disappear, like I guess like eggshells and whatnot. I guess they wouldn't eat eggshells, huh?
Well, it could have been if like somebody was having a hard-boiled egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the not
yeah.
biodegradable
Yeah.
aspects of the food.
Yeah.
You see like the
Yeah.
I remember
crumbled
the
egg
animal
cup.
nature. I just remember like eating a chicken's egg. I considered for a moment. Yeah, and then think to myself, or I'm gonna say out loud, like it seems that whatever happened here, the person who was tending this area left in a bit of a hurry. They didn't even finish their food. And then I'm gonna start like seeing if any of the food is finished. Because he's getting hungry.
It's probably really, really old.
Yeah, it's about how long do you picture this is long enough for the food to have the edible parts of the food to have all degraded or been eaten?
I mean, I would say probably at least like 100 years, because it seemed like like a generation, maybe a little less than that.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's like the petrified, moldy remains of bread. There's like where some of the presumably, I guess there would have been like a bowl of like seeds and nuts there on the table. It's fallen, and you can see there's been attempts at the plants to grow up through it to various degrees of success.
Ooh. I just got this image of like maybe even the room above us is entirely just like the soot is everywhere, but instead of it just being like a blackened room, because it's the highest level, maybe there's cracks above it, like the sky is visible, so plants have gotten in, and it's just beautiful, green and lush, kind of growing in the nutrients of the ash and whatnot.
Yeah,
But
as you get to the
Oh, I
top,
like that.
it's this garden almost has started growing. It has been growing up there. Just different types of plants that with windborne seeds that have blown by and gotten stuck and grown. So it's all sorts of just mismatched plants that from different parts of the world. And just among the branches and where the exit of the stairs is, and the moths that have been living there have adapted to that. So yeah, there's those really bright purple ones. There's those dark purple ones, but there's also some smaller species that they're small. They're smaller than your usual moths, but they're very brightly colored. And you can see them moving among the plants and getting some of the nectar and just on their little moth business.
Maybe there's a good large-sized rock for Trev to sunbathe in the daylight.
Oh yes, yes.
So it would seem like would this be the last floor? And
I think so.
or
I think this would be where the moths have been roosting. Like it would have been the main moth tower, but that part of the building collapsed, and now it's just open to the elements with this garden.
it seems that we may have difficulty lighting it again. He's gonna kind of chuckle.
Yeah, I'm imagining like there's some stuff like strewn around, like how the like old lighthouses were, where they'd have like a big fire in the middle and then like mirrors to bounce the light to make it brighter.
Mirrors and glass, yeah.
There's like lots of glass and half broken mirrors and like the like where the old big fire pit used to be in the middle.
Yeah.
That's probably what started the fire. So it's maybe burned through.
Yeah, like maybe that part, just the area under it, like in the previous room was the like tipped over remains of the brazier.
What if Pilot's definitely not the most investigative person, but he does notice that one of the walls that would have, I suppose, been the final floor where the actual lighthouse, the large orb, the lit orb would have been.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like it was collapsed in, but perhaps was kind of pushed in, or crashed. Something crashed into it that was very large. Almost like something large came into contact and hit the tower. And he's like rubbing his little tanuki chin, considering what it could have possibly have been.
Picturing that meme with the angles and the geography floating by.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. He has some pieces there, but he can't put it together.
CSI Wander Home.
And he's gonna take out a little flute and he's gonna blow it, and all of his moths who flew up here are gonna come back to him at last. They're gonna
from various parts of the branches and the gardens. Your moths look over at that sound and flutter back to you.
There's gonna be one really, really green one. I'm like, hey, I don't know who you are, and it's gonna like sadly fly away back into the lush. And he just kind of like befriended my moths, basically. Like, all right, you could come back, I suppose.
And it flies back.
And Bedelia will be writing down, taking notes of like what they've seen in the tower so far.
Maybe we should ask. I'm sorry, I forgot. Oh, Sadie. Sadie, any type of rumor or legend what she thinks could have possibly have caused all this? Because I'm not too sure we could fix it.
It would definitely take a long time.
Yeah.
We might be able to set up some type of fire, but making it as bright as it used to be gonna be a big job.
What if when you say fire, my green moth kind of like gets like a little sad looking, like it loves its little home, and it's like shakes its head.
No. Yeah. It's just puppy, a moth's equivalent of puppy eyes.
They kind of already have puppy eyes, so they're just like
Just right at Trev.
Oh, don't fret, little fella. I'm not going to set your home on fire. I love that noise.
Okay, well, I suppose if we're settled here, I'm gonna start flapping the cloaks and like my cloak and get to the edge of the tower where there's a bit of a hole going back down and consider like I should be able to get down safely. I do have all my moth. And like just begin slowly flapping and flapping.
And the moths do their part and start flapping. The green moth that just joined looks over and then is like, oh, this is what we're doing, and starts flapping too.
Yeah, what are you all up to?
You're not going to jump down, are you?
Oh, trust me, this should be fine. I have all 41 moths, 42 now with my friend here. I'm going to be petting it. It should be fine. It's worked
She's
out
just gonna
every
be
other
like fidgeting, like
Yeah.
anxiously, like
Yeah, Trevor's going to stare down the hole, and maybe I should go down there just in case. I mean, I'm sure you're going to do it, but maybe I should go down there.
Go catch him.
Oh, yeah, it's could crash on top of you.
Always
he's
use
just gonna
the
be getting
buddy
them ready.
system with experimental flying.
Landing's the hardest part.
Exactly. He's gonna be looking down for a little bit. So I suppose, yeah. What I'm doing is I'm trying to strengthen the wings right now, get them to the motion. It's very scientific. So you could just do as you like, and I'm just like slowly moving them back and forth, like the cloak, flapping my arms up and down. Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say that Bedelio is going to like go over kind of more in like the center of the little garden that's popped up, and like look around and see if she can like find anything that's still up here. Like specifically, I want to find like if there's any little forgotten gods up here.
Okay. Yeah. As you're looking, you're moving some of the plants aside and you see a glow. And at first you think, oh, it's one of these really bright moths or a firefly maybe.
Mm.
And as you move this particularly large leaf aside, it's not so much that you see, but you kind of have the impression in your mind of a small round shape, very you could fit it in your palm.
Mm.
And it has what your brain interprets as eyes, just big round eyes. And it looks up at you and makes a little hopeful noise.
Oh, well, hello there.
Bobs towards you, like ducking under the rest of the leaf, and comes out, floats up, looking at you.
Bedelia will take like a piece of bread or something or food out of her bag and like offer it.
It engulfs the food, and you see it get a little brighter.
She's gonna ask it, how long have you been up here? Does it seem like it understands her, or
It understands. It's the way it answers is you get the impression in your mind of a long time alone.
Mm-hmm.
That there used to be people here, and then they stopped coming.
Aw.
What if is it glowing?
Yes, it's
A bit brighter now.
yeah, it's a bit brighter now. As you look over, you see again, it's not so much that this is a physical thing that exists in the world as the impression that it leaves on you is like you're seeing it, is like you're hearing it, is like you're understanding it. But it's again, it's all how it's filtered into your mind. There is a presence here, it's small, and how it interprets to you is round with big eyes and just like a little hopeful smile right now.
What if Oh, was Trev gonna say something?
Oh, I was just gonna say that everyone hears a little bit of a thunk, kind of like the sound of an acorn hitting the ground, and then CD will actually pop out of Trev's cloak, kind of roll across the ground a little bit, and then kind of, pop up, kind of acorn shaped for whatever reason. CD is very, very, whatever CD wants to be, CD is. And CD is very much feeling like an acorn at the moment, and is kind of teetering on two little legs and looking up at the little forgotten god.
The little forgotten god, seeing CD, its eyes seem to get bigger and it floats down, like zipping down, and flies around CD, examining.
What if at this point Pilot notices the glowing light and turns around and kind of gasps a little bit and goes, that's the small god of crater sites. Or more or less when a star hits our planet, or when a shooting star hits the world, these are the gods of their craters.
Yeah,
but he could be wrong. He just read about small gods here and there.
Yeah, it could be that. It could be like, so the way that I'm picturing, the way that I've interpreted the forgotten gods and the gods of this world is they're not so much beings that existed. They're beings that are brought into being by kind of mass belief or mass acknowledgement. Yeah. Like some place might have, instead of a sun god, it's the god of that feeling you get when you look out over the lake and the sun is shining and glimmering off and you just feel so at home. So the forgotten gods are gods of things that have been forgotten. So in this case, it could be that people forgot about when the crater hit. People forgot about when the shooting star hit. People, or the knowledge of where the site was lost, something like that.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
So the little forgotten god looks up at you and zooms to you, Pilot.
He screams.
The little forgotten god goes and zooms back and hides behind CD.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, I thought it was going to curse me or something of that nature. You know, I didn't realize how cute it was until I could see its terrified face.
Yeah, I don't think that it's going to hurt us. It just seems lonely.
It's okay, little fella. Come on. You can come out.
It bobs a little bit out from behind CD, looks around, and then floats back up.
What if there's a, what would you say the god's name is? Or like the small forgotten god of blank?
It's the small forgotten god of the crater on the hill.
In my research, when there's a small god of a star or of a crater, what if I starts digging around the ash and the soot, and he begins to sing something kind of glowing but it's a little bit too heavy, so he calls over everybody, and perhaps there's a fragment of a shooting star inside of this place. And he's thinking that could possibly be used if we could get someone to bring glass up here or something of that nature.
Ooh.
So it's like a little like glowing like crystal, or like what does it look like?
Yeah, like a broken shard of light.
Mhm.
That's what I was picturing. Yeah, like a warmish, yellowish, almost a tint of greenish light.
Yeah.
Kind of like when something glows in the dark when you're a kid and you see it in your room.
Yeah.
But as we all three of us begin to kind of like dig, this slips away. It gets brighter and brighter until it's almost like a light bulb. It's not blindingly bright. It's very warm to the touch. And
I
yeah,
have an
maybe Hope.
idea.
Yeah.
So what if it's become part of the tree?
Ooh,
Yeah, like the
Ooh.
tree's grown up around it.
I love that.
That was kind of what I was imagining with like the star, like it had landed on the hill at some point, and then the tree grew up around it and like picked it up and carried it up into the air.
Ooh.
I like
That's
that.
really cool too.
So
Yeah,
as you dig,
yeah.
you're uncovering, this is a piece of broken off shard, but as you uncover more, you can see it, some of it kind of threaded through the tree, like not veins, because that's kind of creepy, like ivy.
Yeah. A
And
network.
it's really only visible because the bark here was broken off, so you can see sort of the inside parts that aren't.
Ooh.
It's really cool.
Does the like that we've uncovered this? Does the little forgotten god, is it like over with us? Does it seem to be responding?
Yeah, it's responding. It's glowing brighter. It's kind of nuzzling up to it. It's like that feels like home to it. You get the very distinct impression of home.
Trev is going to use his tail to help sweep away the soot around it, and you just see him sweeping his tail back and forth, kind of like sweeping it off to a side and trying to uncover as much of it as possible. And
some of the moths fly away with the disturbance, but they kind of roost around again and see what you're doing. And the more you uncover, the more you're seeing some smaller bits of of the shards. Like this was a big chunk that broke off, so there's some smaller bits. And it looks like, as far as you can tell, when this fire happened, something happened with that connection here that you're kind of gathering that the tree and the star had. What could that be?
Maybe it has something to do with how the tree is so big.
Yeah,
like it was just a regular tree that just started growing there, and then because of the bits of the star, or the bits of it helped it grow larger.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
And so it's
Would that have been before or after it was a tower, do you think?
I think that it was probably a while, like quite a bit before, and like the area has always just been kind of weird. Like they were saying, like nothing seems to change.
Okay.
And then the tower was probably built here because it was really tall.
Okay, so that connection was what helped this tree be like just huge. But there's big trees everywhere, so maybe nobody really questioned it, and that's why they built everything the way that it did. So how would the fire have affected we know how it affected the tree. Trees burn. How would it have affected the star?
Maybe the Logan guy could tell us more about this when we find him. That could be like the next
Yeah,
part.
I can't think of why it would, but
I have a couple ideas, but I feel like I'm not sure if I should say it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's
Um,
wait until you talk to Logan. I guess if you wanted to go back downstairs.
yeah, I think now's probably a good time to go back downstairs. Does the little forgotten god, does it like stay up here, or can we be like,
It
hey,
follows you.
come on?
Yeah, it
Okay.
follows you.
And CD will vanish mysteriously back into Trev's cloak. Nobody quite catches how or when or why. It just is suddenly there and then it's not.
So as you get back to Sadie's.
oh, can I say something?
Oh, yeah.
What if as we go back down each floor that we kind of traversed, like we go back down to the one beneath it that was mostly just soot, and we hear like a little twinkling sound when another small and forgotten god could pop out.
Oh.
And it almost sounds like a piano or something, or like a harp, and almost like an instrument in some way. And as we go down each floor, one or two more kind of pop out, like very dimly, and they begin following us and kind of dancing around above us,
Yeah.
creating like a twinkling sound as they all kind of are flying above us.
Yeah.
An
So
orchestra.
it's like one may be the small god of the entertainment that they used to have here at night. Another one could be the small god of conversations that were had while looking out at the stars, things like that. And just every time you go down, more are joining.
I feel like one of them is the glow of the tower of the beacon. It is the small and forgotten god that was the glow of the beacon that called the Moth Tome.
Yeah, that one is dim. That one is very dim and very sad and very lonely. The others are kind of hopeful now that you're here, but this one still seems sad.
And what about one that is like the like excitement that you feel when you get mail, when you get a letter? You know, you don't know what it is. It could be anything. It's exciting.
Okay, that one goes over to your packages and is like, this one is a bit more of like maybe a ferret shape and is just kind of twining itself around the packages and making happy noises and just putting off this air of like, oh, it's back.
I have the Blue's Clues mail song in my head now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, this one really, really loves my boxes.
Just like bouncing back and forth between us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you and this little choir of small and forgotten gods make your way back into Sadie's. And she looks over at you and her eyes widen and she says, "You're all sorts of good luck. I've just had my second company in years. And, oh, I didn't know they were up there." And from the corner, this big shape, like think Strider in Fellowship of the Ring, big cloak, pipe.
Yes.
You see a glinting eye, and it says, "They're not all gone yet?"
They must not be. They're right here.
Hello, and who might you be?
Logan. And you see from underneath his cloak, a moth pops out. It's not a moth species you're familiar with. The antenna, yeah, they have the little fluffy moth bits, but it's only at the end. It has bright red eyes, and it's yellow with darker patterns kind of streaking through it. So very much not a local moth. And it peeks out, and like, if a moth's eyes could narrow at you, it would. He reaches up absentmindedly and pets it.
So maybe he saw the glowing and the small forgotten gods and could have come over as we were descending.
Yeah.
From the hillocks. Yeah, I think Pilot's a little bit intimidated. What do y'all say?
Trev will actually, as he's going down the rest of the stairs, he will take off his hat, kind of do a little somersault thingy, and do like a sweeping bow towards the small and forgotten gods. He is very not intimidated. He's just very enjoying the moment of this discovery. Very, very happy, very excited.
Ooh, do the small and forgotten gods disappear when they see this new fellow?
No, they're still so overwhelmingly happy to have been noticed that they might they're kind of swarming around you. They're very much not approaching the badger, Logan.
Mhm.
In fact, some of them might be kind of peeking out from behind you at him, but
Hmm.
they're just so happy, except for the sad one.
Bedelia will ask, will like he's there, and she'll say, well, who are you? Where did you find that moth?
Around. Where did you find your moths?
Well, I raised them when I was learning to be a moth tender, and I found some along my travels, and where you find moths, you kind of just gather them as you go. But I've never seen one like that.
We're from somewhere else. So now that we understand each other, what are you doing here?
Well, I don't really feel like I understand you at all. Are you a moth tender too?
I think that would be obvious by the moth.
I
Sadie looks scandalized that he's being so rude. She's just kind of like, well, I never, while she stirs some stew.
Well, we're traveling. I'm Trev. This is Bedelia, and this is Pilot, and we're just traveling along. Came to see what this place was all about. It's all old and neat and tall and so wonderful.
Those are some words for it.
We were actually trying to figure out how to help our friend Sadie here, whilst also helping the moth tender, the moths themselves and us in our job. You see, the tower up there is broken. If you didn't know,
Oh, I knew.
You've been here before.
I'm from here. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun,
He's so
dun.
grumpy.
Okay, and we are about out of time. So we're going to pick up with
Perfect
Logan
ending.
and Sadie and the moths and
Cliffhanger.
the small gods next Monday at 1 p.m. Central. So let's start opposite order. So counterclockwise. Sarah, where can we find you? What other things are you doing? Anything you want to plug?
Let's see. You can always find me at blindbat84 on Twitter. I usually go by that handle pretty much everywhere. I am huge into tabletop. I am part of 2 other groups on Saturday and Sunday. I am a huge bookworm. And I am an accessibility tester. I love my job. And I am just so much looking forward to continuing this story. Logan is such a grumpy badger, and I love it.
yeah.
Okay, so next is Robin.
Yeah, you could find me on Twitter at Iakun, which is just raccoon, but instead of the R, there's an E. And I make art, and I'm designing my first board game, and I make comic books as well on Tapastic, which website coming soon.
Okay, and Moss.
I am Lauren Lilith on Twitter, or at Lauren Lilith with a Y instead of an E in Lauren. I I don't really do a whole lot. I draw sometimes, and I play lots of tabletop games. Hopefully, I'm trying to practice my art more. So hopefully, I'll be able to make some more soon.
Oh yeah, I want to make. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
It's just like I just got so many ideas. Like I can't wait to make the art of the story. You should totally do that.
Yeah, I would love to
Yeah.
try to use it to practice.
Yeah, same.
And
Feel
I'm
free
just
to
excited
draw,
to play.
Trev.
Oh, I'm gonna.
I will.
I'll do my best.
Yeah.
Okay. And anything else?
Question for you. So do you run this Twitch yourself, or do you run it
No,
with
I do
somebody?
not. I will be talking a little bit more about the Twitch in just a second.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So I am Lauren. I'm on Twitter at Sithwitch. You can find everywhere I'm at professionally at my website, lwsalinas.com. If you're interested in audiobooks, voice acting, or any of the other wonderful tabletop games that I've been playing, streaming, you can find them there. I'm here on Nerds with Dice every Wednesday at noon Central playing the Kingdom Hearts game, Hearts of Nobody. I think that's what it's called. I'm blanking out. But it's a Kingdom Hearts game, and it's fun. And again, running this game. And the channel that we are on is Nerds with Dice. You can join our Discord, which I'm linking in the chat. And you can find all of our VODs on YouTube, also on the chat. There's Dreams of Nobody, not Hearts of Nobody. Yeah. But
You were close.
yes, I was close. So you can find us there. You can join the Discord. People are always looking for players. If you want to run a game for the channel, go ahead and ask. And in the meantime, we are going to raid. Let me see if I can raid. Geekier Nights is doing a stream right now of, I think, D&D. So let's see if that works. Everyone, bye-bye.
Awesome. See you later.
See you next
Bye.
week.
Bye.